Okay, so it is 4 minutes gone past the hour of 9 on the AM side, and this is Eagle's Outlook, where we talk politics and current affairs. My name is Uduak Daniel, and there's no gainsaying. There's a mass defection period now, as it seems. Everybody's jumping camps. It's more like you're jumping a bus, from area 1 to maybe Wuse. You get to Wuse, and then you're going to Zuba, just jumping camps just like that. But yeah, in this regard, it's not you jumping bosses now. It's about moving from one ideology, to another. However, quite a number of people have said that there's no ideology in the politics that we are practicing in Nigeria. And as such, they've also, fingered the entire process. Some have indeed gone on social media saying that, look, if you don't put a reform to the INEC this time, that indeed Nigeria is done for. By Nigerians, it doesn't mean the elite or the politicians, because of course there's no permanent friend, neither are there permanent enemies. It's just a matter of interest, and that's what puts them together and brings them together, shaking hands, hugging and smiling. But then it brings it also to the fore the fact that you and I need to be wise in following these persons. Are you following a person? Are you following a party? Are you following a mandate? Are you following a campaign promise? Have these indeed come to fruition for you? Well, these questions indeed, very deep questions. Some of you might want to pass it, just underneath the bed right there, but yeah, it still comes up, right up in your face. But mass defection of Delta State PDP leaders to APC. The mass defection of Delta State Governor Sheriff Oborevuri, former Governor Ifeanyi Okowa, and other key members of the People's Democratic Party PDP to the All Progressives Congress APC has indeed sparked significant political debate in Nigeria. Now, it doesn't even end there. Honestly, it doesn't end there. There is a Kawu, somewhere in Kano State, who is also leaving the NNPP party now, the New Nigeria People's Party, into the APC. In fact, there are also some talks and munu going on underneath that even Kwankwaso would be indeed jumping, the camps this time from the NNPP into the APC. Oh, should this happen now? What is indeed the terrain of the political atmosphere in the country? Would it be seeming as though we are running a one-party system, so to speak, as many political actors and observers and commentators have indeed alleged, or alluded rather. They're not alleging it, they're alluding to it, that that's what it seems to be about. And so you too, I think Honorable Edwards has also, expressed this concern in that regard. A family member is saying that, look, it does seem as though we are running into a one-party system, but what can we do? What can we do, he says. This defection, announced on April 23, 2025, marks a major shift in the state's political landscape, with implications for both parties involved. So the PDP has historically been a dominant force in Delta State for so long a time, and this defection represents a significant loss for the party. Now, the APC, on the other hand, sees this as an opportunity to strengthen its presence. Presence not just, in Delta State, but presence in the region. That's talking about the South-South region. Even the Southeast too as well. Now, the reason cited for the defection include dissatisfaction with the PDP's direction and a desire for new opportunities under the APC. A desire for new opportunities under the APC. Well, if you've ever gone for a job interview before and you left, where you are, and you went to that interview and a new place, while you're going through that interview, one of such questions will be, why did you leave the place you were at before? Why did you leave? Are there such evaluation going on? Are there such questions being asked, within the inter-party system that we have in this country right now? Do we have, people at least answering that very one question? Because that's the question that you and I would want to ask these people who have defected, so to speak, from the PDP, not just about the PDP now, from whatever the party may be, into the, party of choice, whether APC, whether GDP, whether ANPP, whether CNC, whatever the party may be, right? That's one question that I would love to ask these persons, because it is believed that if you left a failing ship or a falling ship, right? You were a part of that process before. And you probably have seen the reasons. The question should be, what efforts did you put in place to ensuring that that ship is not sinking? Because one of such that was said was that, oh, we cannot be a part of a sinking ship. That the PDP was done for. It was over. It was zilch for the PDP. What have you done? In your own little way, in your own small way? How have you been able to visibly, I'm not talking about saying I've been helping the party invisibly. You will not understand my efforts. That's not what we're saying. Visibly, convincingly, to see in that group or that place you left, indeed, even if it was heading for sink, right? At least you still keep it afloat, barely. Try to help it just float a bit and all of that before leaving. So it doesn't say that, oh, it was when you left that it sunk. Do you understand? But yeah, but anyways, that is just maybe in my head, maybe in the interviewer's head. But yeah, when it comes to inter-party in Nigeria, defection, it doesn't seem to matter. Well, one of the other things that Nigerians are asking is for a man of status in the person of Okowa. He was the running mate to the Atiku at the time, and Nigerians are saying, imagine such a person that won the election at the time. Is this what they are all about? Really? But others are saying, hey, what's the problem with defection? I mean, if you discover that there is a place that is not in favor of you, or probably you are in a place that doesn't really go well with you anymore, you can indeed choose your camp and choose wisely and choose rightly. And it's in the same way that I am also telling each and every one of us that, hey, come 2027, please choose wisely, vote correctly. All right, that's just by the way, because of course the campaigns are already everywhere. Everybody now is trying to see what part of the piece of cake that they can indeed accrue for themselves, and it really bothers me. I don't know if it bothers you too as much as it does me, the kind of politicians that we breed in this country. Are they really a reflection of who we are, or they are indeed a different breed trying to instill their kind of moral to the next generation? And if that is the case, it will mean such audacity. It would also mean, oh, what's the future? What's the hope? What's the renewed hope for this generation that is to come even after us, right here and on now? What would be the blueprint that we have kept on the roadways, on the ground, in the history books for the next generation to come see? Some question though, but does anybody really think about legacy this day? Somebody once told me that legacy died with those who are 9,500 years old. That is, if they are still alive. That those who are less below, from 80, 70, that they don't have no legacies no more. And then if that be the case, what then will be our lot? Some of us who are still in our 40s and our 50s and all, what will be our lot? And what would it be for those who are still 10 years old and still trying to grapple to understand the life that they have come to live in? But then Delta State Governor Sheriff Oberowori and former Governor Ifeanyi Okowa, along with all the PDP members in the state, they've all defected. The announcement was made by Senator James Manager after a meeting at Government House in Asaba. Now, these defectors cited PDP's decline as a reason for their move. Did you hear that? The decline of the PDP as the reason for the move. In fact, they continued by saying that we cannot be in a sinking ship. Well, the mass defection of PDP leaders now to APC in Delta State has left many residents wondering about the future of political allegiances, even governance in the state. For individuals who have long supported the PDP, the shift may evoke feelings of disillusionment, as well as uncertainty about the new political landscape. And now, if that is really bothering you, and you think you've been bothered enough, well, think about, these other defections from other party members, as some political commentators who have been following the political climate for a very long time and very closely have also come to saying that, look, there are no these people who are running defections, especially at this timing, do have some stains on them, just as we would say in our local parlance here, very, very jovially, don't stain their whites. So their whites have been stained, and they are looking for soccer elsewhere, right? And it is also believed that, if you can join the ruling party, if you can just be part of the big boys, the Oga at the tops, your sins would be forgiven. Could this also be a way of evading the law? Well, to have this conversation with us is our guest, who is in the person of Barrister Ahmed Tanimu Abubakar. Is a lawyer and political conversationalist, and trying to reach him, for a bit now, but it's really hampering. I guess the network has not been very, very fair this morning. But then we will open this discourse to you. I mean, this is not something that is it's not rocket science. You and I already have seen defections in Nigeria. In fact, it has had different names, within the past administrations. We've had decamping, we have had cross carpeting, we have had defection, whatever the name may be. Are these processes even very legit? Are they genuine? Are they real? Are they something that is short of criminality? I mean, we've seen cases where somebody wins on the mandate or on the ticket of a certain political party, and while still in that office, having enjoyed the support of that political office, political platform, political party, even the supporters and everything, they decide to just decamp, just like that, just like that. And they tell you, for irreconcilable differences, for lack of interest, our interests don't align anymore. I was a baby back in the day when I followed, but now my eyes are open. Your eyes were not open when you were running campaigns. Your eyes were not open when you were begging for party favors. But now that you've gotten, what you wanted, they come around and say that their eyes have been opened, that they were a child before. After all, Paul had said, when I was a child, I acted like a child, but now that I'm grown, I'm pretty much grown up and mature now. So the things that I used to do as a child, I should not do anymore. Is that what the case is at this point in time, though? But then political, defections have been recurring theme in Nigerian politics. It is often driven by political ambitions. That's right, political disagreements, of course, and party dynamics. Well, there are similar mass defections have occurred in other states, such as the defection of lawmakers and governors between parties in previous years. Now, how will this defection impact the political future of Delta State and its residents? Is some question that is on the mind of Deltans, as I had the opportunity to reach out to a certain Delton, a follower, stunt Delton PDP follower right there, who said, well, I don't know what it's going to be for us now in the PDP. If our leaders have let us down, those that we follow, with the party have indeed let us down, defecting to the same old party that they have criticized, but suddenly they've seen the good in the party. What then are we to believe anymore? We are in a state of confusion, a state of quagmire, a state of disillusionment. And that's it. And then this is not because whether anybody's defecting to the APC. That's not why we are really having the conversation. The fears or the motif behind the defection, number one. Number two, again, the belief that, the moment we get into the ruling party, it means that everything is, perfected, it's fine, it's okay. If you had issues before, you had the EFCC, you had any crimes commission, under your tail, they just will be they'll be warded off. They wouldn't be bothering you anymore. If that indeed, if that thought line is a thought line that we should entertain, then isn't that awful sad? But then again, the overall of them all, if you like, the Ogakpatapata of them all, will be the place of are we really looking to running a one-party system right about now as it stands? Is that where we are headed, as a country? Because quite a number of political actors and professionals have indeed come out to saying that that is indeed detrimental to the very idea of democracy and all of that. It doesn't allow for, dissenting voices. It doesn't allow for any sort of, opposition, to put the ruling party on their toes, and it also does not allow for some certain levels of belief in governance, because it will seem as though it is whatever these people tell us, this political party tell us, that's what we will just abide by, because we don't have a choice. So it becomes a people who have been given a constitutional right by choice, but they become choiceless or some seemingly disenfranchised, so to speak, in choosing what political platforms that they would love, to engage and all of that. But there's no variety anymore. Now, such questions also border around the defection and how it could impact the economy. Right? What influence will these have on economic policies and development projects in Delta State? Depending on the APC's agendas and priorities, investors and businesses may closely watch how this political shift affects the state's economic stability and growth. Right? Now, the defection may also lead to shifts in public opinion and voter behavior, potentially influencing future elections. Right? Because residents may reassess their political allegiances, and that will be based on the performance and policies of the new ruling, party. So how will the public react to this mass defection, and what implications might it have for the future elections, as it were? But then, if we also want to dive deeper into some of these, it will make you wonder whether or not we are indeed making giant strides at ensuring that we have a cosmopolitan environment politically, where there is the place of choice, there is the place of the power being in the hands of the people, and there is the place of whether or not any political figure has the influence to determine the attitudes or the voting attitude, the voting choices of the electorate or the people that they lead. What am I saying in essence? Now we're looking at a place of now these persons, if now the Delta State or the Delta PDP strongholds, all of them have defected into the APC and all of that. Does this mean that come 2027, the electioneering processes will only mean that the APC will be taken all over, will be voted in? That's where I'm coming from. Will they be voted in? Because now it seems as though the opposition, so to speak, that we thought would have been an opposition, have all moved into the ruling party. Right? Does it mean that Delta State now is an APC state? Does it mean that the people in Delta State cannot also decide and say that, okay, no, we want ABGA, for example. We want LP, Labour Party, for example, or we don't even want APC and the PDP, right? So these are the things that we are indeed asking to know, to learn about. Well, I'll just open the phone lines at this point in time, because I really need to know, what you'd be thinking about this and all of that. I mean, political instability-wise, will this defection lead to political instability in Delta State? Well, I do not want that to happen. I don't think you want that to happen. But then again, stability may depend on how well the APC consolidates power and address, governance issues. But then future elections, how might this defection influence the outcome of future elections in Delta State? I said that before, and I'm just reiterating. Voter behavior may shift on the APC's performance and policies. Well, these are the things. Well, 0907 though, 353-0044 is that number. The other number would be 0908-766 8888. The WhatsApp portal number 0909-705-4450. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Soldier.
Yes, please, Honorable Edwards. Good morning. Where are you calling from?
Thank you. I'm calling from the port.
Awesome. Talk to us, Honorable Edwards.
Soldier, you asked a very intelligent question. Yeah, It's a very good question, but let me tell you something. It's as a result of our political leaders, the way they handle politics, the way they go about politics, that has given room, that has given opportunity for anybody to be calm. The PDP is the problem to herself. You see a lot of people moving from that party. So they allow another party to control them. What do you expect? What do you expect? But mark today's date. The only thing that without opposition, there will be no good governance in Nigeria. There will be no good governance in Nigeria. It's not this type of opposition we have that everybody is busy looking for who will be the presidential candidate, who will be the leader of the party, who will be the for good opposition, you have to prove that what is happening, it is not good or it is good.
Okay.
Then all of them will come back or will join another party during the election because they may be denied of their ticket. In one political party, the conjecture alone, there will be a lot of manipulations, and most of them will be denied to even contest. So all of them will form this thing. So what we are saying is that our political should learn how to accommodate their political how do you call it? Political associates.
Okay.
And this is a problem. At Mr. Former Vice President, that is his vice presidential candidate. That he come after election. What has he done to show that man that there's a political law? Nothing.
Right.
So do you expect that man to don't remember that man is a politician? He has to go. Find a way where people are talking about the cases that when it comes to this thing, your sins are forgiven. Who told you? Some people in APC, they are still facing EFCC.
Right.
So they should not condemn APC for that.
Right. Right.
Mr. ACT minister. They didn't even know that man is a dribbler. He has dribbled everybody. He has finished what is called PDP. He has finished PDP. But that is the truth.
Okay.
Must you be presidential candidate? Atiku himself has issues. Must you be presidential candidate if you love the PDP? That's what is causing problem.
Okay.
Thank you. God bless
Thank you so much, though. Honorable Edwards right there, giving an extensive thought line, to the discourse. Well, you too can get your voice heard loudly and clearly. Send me those messages in a very early via the WhatsApp portal number 0909-705-4450. Better still, go and see the television we are hosting on YouTube and Facebook. Subscribe on YouTube at Eagles FM Abuja. Do the same on Facebook at Eagles FM Abuja. Leave a comment in the comment section, and we will herald your thoughts. Well, joining us is our guest, who is in the person of Barrister Ahmed Tanimu, right? And Abubakar, Barrister Ahmed Tanimu Abubakar, and he's joining us via phone call.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Welcome aboard.
It's a pleasure being on your program.
Right, appreciate that. Well, Barrister, some question that Nigerians want to ask. Two basic questions, though. Number one, though, is it lawful? Defection, is it unlawful? Is it lawful? What does the Constitution say about it? Is the Constitution silent about it? Is it a Constitution matter, as it were? Are you there? Hello, Barrister?
Constitution, it talks about, it made arrangements for it. In the Constitution, there is arrangement for the human being. We cannot always get along till eternity. So there will be room for disagreement and a realignment of forces. So what the Constitution provides is that it states when there is kind of conflict in a political party, you are allowed to defect to any other political party. And the essence of this is that for those holding office, they want an element of stability. That brought you to power for no just cause. The reason has been provided is that when there is disunity, when there is conflict, and there is crisis in the party. So what Nigerians have done over time is to instigate such crisis so that
all right, but Barrister Ahmed,
leadership.
Barrister Ahmed, you might want to peg your thought. I should call you back, right? Because the network, very poor. I'll call you back right now. All right. So yes, just stay close to your phone, Barrister, please. All right, that's fine. Because you were making some very, very salient, thoughts on this matter this morning. But whilst you were at it, let's still open the phone lines and get to hear from you. But before we do so, we'll just go on a recess now. We'll go on a recess, pay some bills, and then when we do come back, of course, it will be, getting to learn more, about this.
No AC? No problem. We're cooling you down with the freshest hits.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Meet the Infinix Note 50 series, defined by pioneers who push boundaries. Its ultra-resilient armor alloy metal frame design gives you that slick, top-notch style. Unlock efficiency with intelligence of the one-tap Infinix AI and circle to search anything on your phone with Google. Need power in a flash? 90 watts fast charge rockets you from 0 to 100% in 38 minutes. Exclusive deals at authorized stores. Get your Note 50 now. The Infinix Note 50 series. Pro design, Pro AI.
Sorry for the inconvenience.
I suppose it was inevitable. Eagles 102.3.
It's 33 minutes gone past the hour of 9 on the AM side, and I see that you have come to want to add your voice in the discourse. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Daniel.
Yes, good morning to you, please. Appreciate you. What's your name? Where you calling from?
You are doing a great job.
Appreciate.
Yes. My name is
Turkinby. Yes, awesome. Awesome. All right, Turkinby. Yes, Mr. Odua, I want to start by saying that as of this morning, there has been news that Okowa was not part of the defection, and that based on reports, not yet confirmed anyway, that he has denied being part of the defection, and that his supporters have also come out to say expressly that Okowa was never part of the defection and he can never be, that he's still a strong member of the PDP as of this morning. And I want to believe that will stand.
having said that, the politicians, they are after what they can get. But I want to tell you for free, Mr. Oduak, that they will also come and gather, into the APC, and before you know, issues will come up that will be too much for them to handle, and they will still find their separate ways. But one thing is that these people are gathering not for the interest of Nigerians, they are gathering for their own interest.
Right.
It will be a dangerous thing for the Nigerian people to see that the whole country, everybody is practicing one party, which is the APC. And since the coming on board of these parties in 2015, honestly, things have not been well with Nigerians. That's the truth.
Okay.
Anybody that is saying otherwise, I don't know if the person is working under the government and then is enjoying himself so much. But to millions of Nigerians of the world, things are difficult.
All right.
Talking about house rent, one self-contained in my area now is about 300,000 against 75,000 naira. Everything has gone up. Even food items have not even dropped to the point of selling prices. So one thing we are clamoring for is that politicians, they should fight for the interests of the masses.
Okay.
And not for their personal interests.
All right.
Because the country is not moving forward. How I wish the APC government can even turn us to 2015 and then leave us alone because we have. Thank you very much.
All right. Says we wish we can go back to Egypt and not get to this supposed promised land that has been called or tagged renewed hope. That there's no hope renewed in this sense, and we should go back to Egypt. Well, okay, let me see how we can really get back with our guest now, as I'm trying as much as I could to reach out to him. I see that we are really itching to get this conversation out, but yeah, understandably so. But let's see how what our guest has to say. What does the Constitution say about this entire process? What does it say? Is it okay? Is it okay to just have defections like that? Hello, good morning, welcome back, Barrister Ahmed Tanimo.
I'm with you.
Yeah, very very quickly though, just run it through, because at exactly 9:45 we should be done. So run it through. Is it constitutional? What does the Constitution say? And what do you think about the kind of politicians that we have in Nigeria today? And what could be the way forward for Nigeria as it stands now?
Okay. So I want to lay a foundation so that it will be clear to all Nigerians.
Okay.
The issue of defection is as a result of certain factors. Factors such as disaffection in a particular political setting. Maybe they are not having their way, they are not being treated fairly, and they believe that their chances for acquiring power will completely be eroded. In some instances, it's about realignment of forces so that they will be able to be with the party at the center, and they should be able to now bring the dividends of democracy down to their people. Because if you have your party at the center, you have more opportunities than if you are in opposition. So many factors abound for the defection in political parties. So the Constitution, being a working document that provides, is a ground norm. You don't expect it to have the details of everything, but salient provisions are made as regards what should happen in this kind of situation. In Nigeria, the Constitution is clear that you can only attain political office via you belonging to a political party. We don't have independent candidacy at the moment, so you just have to register properly in a political party, and that's when you can now aspire to hold offices. And with this come the challenges when you juxtapose it with the issue of defection that has been in a part of our political history. You now know that certain provisions were deliberately made to now safeguard the sanity of our democracy, and as well make room for people that will be having issues in terms of the way they are being treated, either unfairly, either they believe they will not get the justice of being in a political party. What the Constitution provides is that you are allowed to defect if your party is in crisis.
Oh.
If there is serious conflict in your political party, you are allowed to go to cross over to a new party.
Okay.
So the question that comes to mind is who determines what the crisis is and what will amount to crisis. So for this, our courts have made a pronouncement, and any law that has been made, the best interpreter is the judiciary, where the provision of that law will be tested. And you use the reasonable man standard. Right. You will not say because you are having disagreement with maybe an ESCO member, and that will suffice as serious crisis to warrant defection. There must be other factions, there must be other usurpation in the party, there must be other breach of the constitution of that political party, and making your continuous stay as a politician in that party to be unattainable. Then you are allowed to defect. If you defect without these conditions, then your seat, if you are holding a political seat, can be declared vacant for the National Assembly and State Houses of Assembly member. But for the governors and the rest, you look at it, certain provisions to equally guarantee their stay in office. So it has to be intertwined and interwoven. Every political party in Nigeria, or most political parties in Nigeria, they are bedeviled with one form of crisis or the other.
So
From the Labour Party, you have leadership tussle, to the APC, to the PDP. So the condition for defection is already right.
Okay, I don't mean to bridge, right? Yeah, now you've extensively made it clear that defection is unconstitutional, but it has to be within certain ambits, right? Certain circumstantial, ambits. Now, my point exactly now will be what kind of political, politicians then do we have in this country, as it seems? Because Nigerians are beginning to lose hope. I mean, there are certain persons who would have, spoken against a certain candidate, of another political party or another party, and now you see them just coming to pay allegiance, to these parties, just like that, and giving us certain reasons as to why they're doing so, and what would be the outcome for the followers, of these.
Let me start with the last question. The outcome is that we are gradually tilting towards a one-party political state, like the way you have in China, where everybody is now expected to be a member of the APC, regardless of their visible performance in power. All other political parties have been, you see, if you look at the level of antagonism going on, if you look at the level of emasculation, so you see most politicians, then this relates to the next question. Most the type of politicians we have are politicians that don't have ideology. There's no guiding principle guiding their actions, guiding their decision, and guiding their membership of political party. The only ideology they have is grabbing power. They want to attain power by every means. And what happens afterwards is we are already seeing it. Unlike the previous political experimentation, where you have credible opposition that will challenge the government in power, that will form a shadow cabinet, whereby if you have a minister of education, you actually have a minister of education in the shadow opposition government, and that opposition gives the government a run for their money, whereby they match them word for word, action for action in terms of deliverables. Now we don't have that anymore. So our politicians lack ideology.
Yeah, in one sentence now, what is the outlook for the future? Could this determine the votes, the electorate's attitude at the polling units?
The attitude for the future is already well known. There is high level of voters apathy because most people now have this palpable fear that their vote will not count. If the previous election 2023, the turnout was abysmal, and now it's going to get worse because people are tired, people are agitated, and that is what the government in the day wants. So I'm calling on all Nigerians, regardless of the shenanigans and everything that is going on, they should come out en masse. They should vote massively. Our vote will count. We will bring the change that Nigerians deserve. We cannot continue in this hardship. We cannot continue in this level of insecurity. We cannot continue in this level of fear and rancor that is going on. Killings are going on daily. Kidnappings are going on. Bandits have taken over better part of the country. The only way that we can change is when we come out, we vote massively. Okay. We are not, by any means, the government, no matter what they do,
we want change. We want positive change, change that will reflect on our yearning, on our aspiration, change that will make this country a better place. We have no any other country than Nigeria. We will not be refugees, we will not be internally displaced persons, we will not go and seek greener pasture abroad. This country belongs to all of us. We have equal stake in this country and we'll do everything. When we say everything, will come out massively. We will vote. Our vote will naturally count.
All right. Thank you so much, Barrister Ahmed Tanimo Abubakar. Sadly, we don't have so much time to engage this conversation. I would have loved for us to have more, in this. And I know you have a lot to say. Now, you're a lawyer and political conversationalist. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It's a delight to be on your great program, and we hope Nigerians will continue to tune in for more interesting political updates.
Exactly. All right, and that's a barrister right there, Ahmed Tanimo. But then I'll just quickly run through your messages right now. This one right here says a house via the WhatsApp, by the way. A house that is commotion cannot expect people to remain therein. It is the right to defect, and most importantly, is our right to make choices as to who we entrust or give our mandates to be at the helm of our affairs. All we are concerned about is fairness and good governance that will translate to better lives for all of us. God bless Nigeria. God bless Eagles FM Sanusi all the way from Suleja. On our Facebook page wall, quite a number of messages now. I see this one coming from, this would be Dan Fulani now, Suleiman. Yes, says... good morning. Okay, it says, all right. So he says, we are waiting for APC come 2027. If they continue like this, believe me, they'll be surprised what will happen to them. And by God's grace, it will be 4-0 from Suleiman. Peter Jemetesimi says, Nigeria gradually goes into one-party system. It's well. All right, Prince, I see you now. It says defection is not a new thing to politicians. Once they aren't favored in their current party, they jump to where they are favored. They're just after their selfish interest. One day, we will get it rightly. And Frank also says, Nigeria can only be great when we stop focusing on parties, but people with history of good leadership, people's interest, sustainable development, security, and strict adherence to the rule of law. This is where we call it a close on the Pro Show.